Gary Simon. I'm with the Department of Veterans Affairs. I'm assigned to the Buffalo Regional Office. My duty is here at Fort Drum. Primarily, I work with soldiers who are going through the medical discharge process. I don't often get to work with veterans. It's kind of strange working at the VA, so today's kind of a great day for me to meet so many veterans. Even though I work primarily with soldiers going through the medical discharge process, I can serve as a liaison for any other VA benefits that you might want to file for. My information is here on the next slide. I'm over by Connor TMC. Those of you from the Fort Drum area probably know where that is. It's a small building right beside Connor TMC. Any VA information you want help with, you can come see me, you can give me a call, I'll help you get that. If I don't know the answer, I will hook you up with somebody in VA who does. I'm going to step off my slide here for just a second, tagging along with what he was just talking about, fraud on your account and so forth. Unfortunately, it's becoming a trend. I used to work for another federal agency. We had a problem with people stealing benefits from our beneficiaries. We're starting to see a problem with that with VA benefits. We had a change to our regulations recently. You can only have one bank account at a time with VA right now. In the past, you could have one account for your monthly benefits. You could have another one for your GI Bill if you were using that. Have another one for your vocational rehab money. What we found was that people who had multiple bank accounts were the ones who were getting their information hacked. If you think about it, more bank accounts, more avenues of attack. So if we change our regs, whatever account you give us for your monthly compensation benefits, that's the one account we're going to use for all of your benefits. You can change that account at any time, and I'll talk about that in a moment here on our website. But on the same guidance, if you do change your bank account for any reason, you get a new bank account, please leave the old account open for a few more weeks until you see the money go into the new account. If you close the old account on Monday and open the new account on Monday, and you get around to calling us on Wednesday, guess what? Tuesday was probably our monthly cutoff date. That means we're going to try and send your money to the old account, and it's going to bounce back to us. It takes about a month to straighten that out. So if we're going to get the money to you, but it's going to be a late payment. So just something to keep in mind. You have to open a new account. Please leave the old one open a little longer. Some of the things I can help you with, if you call me, we can talk about education benefits. On that, usually I'm going to refer you right to the education folks. The GI Bill has gotten very complicated in recent years. A lot of new programs, so I would probably refer you right to them. I have their number and so forth. Home loan guarantee, disability letters, filing for new claims, pension benefits, survivor benefits, we can help you all of that. All right, next slide. All right, getting digital. If in the past you had been using what we used to call e-benefits or My Healthy Vet, we've started to consolidate all of the VA websites into one single website. Everything is now done through va.gov. We're trying to simplify it. So when you log into va.gov, there's links you can go to get your health records, you can get a benefit letter, change your direct deposit. Virtually anything you need to do with the VA can now be done through that one website. If you have not set up an account at va.gov yet, it's a process because we have to have your identity verified. If you already have a DS Logon premium account, if you use that to sign into DFAS, you can use the same one at va.gov. We also use login.gov and ID.me. If you haven't set one of those up, what they're going to do is ask you a lot of background questions like, where were you living in 2018? And it's kind of tricky because it lists a bunch of addresses and you've lived at all of them. You have to pick the right one, where you were in, so it's kind of tricky. If you get through those questions, you can establish your account. If not, you then have to take your identifying documents to a location where they do passports, which is usually one of the larger post offices. Gets to be kind of jumping through some hoops there, but hopefully you've all got that account set up already. Everything can be done right through that website now. If you have a claim in, you can file new claims there, you can track your claim, update your address and your direct deposit. You don't have to call the 800 number anymore. You're still welcome to do that, but sometimes it's a lot quicker to just do it through the main website. You can download those veterans preference letters for civil service employment, a benefit letter if you're applying for a loan, you have to prove your income. That can all be done through the website. You can put the medical information in there now. I can go on my account at va.gov, I can set up an appointment to see my doctor, I can order prescription refills, I can send a message to my doctor, a secure message. So everything is done right now through va.gov. It's really made it a lot simpler. Let's see here. All right, the PACT Act. Has everybody heard about the PACT Act? Has anybody not heard about the PACT Act? That's probably the way I asked that question. All right, no hands up. All right, the PACT Act was the largest expansion of VA benefits in our history. Probably the only thing bigger than that was back in World War II when they passed the original GI Bill of Rights, which had the GI Education Bill and the GI Home Loan. PACT Act, what it basically says is, if you have certain health conditions, and you served in these countries at these times, or you served on a Navy ship, whatever, you are probably service-connected for that health condition. For many, many years, we were denying Vietnam veterans their claims for cancer conditions because there was no medical proof that Agent Orange caused those cancers. Well, what happened was after years and years, VA started looking at the numbers and they said, wait a minute, the Vietnam veterans are getting cancers at this rate, whereas civilians are getting at this rate. And so even though they couldn't prove the connection, Congress said just service connected. So again, if you have certain health conditions, diabetes, high blood pressure, asthma, lung disease, COPD, unexplained skin rashes, and you were deployed overseas to certain areas where there was burn pits or hazardous toxins, please file a claim with us. It's probably or very likely going to be service connected. So don't think just, hey, I'm getting older in life and I came down with diabetes, it's just what happens when you get older. No, file a claim for that. It might be something service connected that you can get additional compensation for. Let's see. Yep. And the other thing they're doing is they're doing studies as well. So even if you file a claim and it doesn't get approved, again, every time somebody files a claim, like he was talking about getting clicks, with us, every time somebody files a claim, it's one more in the count, and then we can start looking and say, wow, why are all the Gulf War veterans getting this particular health condition? And then he can maybe add it as a new presumptive condition. So file a claim when in doubt, file a claim no matter what. So make it approved. If not, you're helping us do our studies and our research. All right, next slide here. Standard VA forms, if you're going to file a new claim, we have the standardized VA claim form, that's 21-526CZ. Appeals are done on a different form. The most important form of all is the intent to file form, that third one. Is anybody familiar with that one? Some hands up. Intent to file is important because what it does is you can do an intent to file right on a website. It takes about literally like 1 minute to do it. It's that quick. Or you can fill out the form and send it in. When you fill out an intent to file form, what that does is it locks in that date for 1 year. You then have 1 year to gather your medical records, get all your information together, and finish that claim. If we approve it, we will pay it all the way back to that intent to file date. So if you're thinking about filing a claim, you're not sure if you want to do it or not, just do the intent to file. I'm set up today over at the PX with one of my coworkers. We can do an intent to file right on the spot. Again, it takes about 1 minute. So if you're thinking about filing a claim, let us know. We'll lock it in for you. Then you got a year to get everything together and take care of it. Healthcare. I also have a VA healthcare representative over there with me today, and he can get you enrolled in VA healthcare if you're not already enrolled. One of the things I do is my work with the soldiers who are being medically discharged. Many of them get medically retired, and the question always comes up is, can I use VA and TRICARE? Yes, I'm retired from 10th Mountain Division. I sometimes use Guthrie Clinic, I sometimes use TRICARE, I sometimes use the VA. I use whichever one works best for me for that condition. A good example is recently I was trying to get a community care referral from the VA, and I didn't receive anything back, so I called Guthrie and got my provider over there to get me one. Then when I went for that doctor's appointment, they had both referrals. So I just went with and I went with the VA one because there's no copay, so it's a little better for me. So yeah, VA healthcare, we can get you enrolled. You can use that as well. If you have not signed up, you can get you signed up today. There are priority groups. If you have a VA rating, 10% or higher, you go all the way up to priority group 3. If you don't have a VA rating and you haven't served in certain combat zones, you might be down in priority group 8, and that's what we have to ask about income questions. All right, so what I tell people who get, I have some people come and say, hey, I got denied for VA healthcare because I made too much money and I'm in priority group 8. File a claim for something, okay? It's not hard to get rated 10%. I'm not saying fake it, but it's pretty easy to get a 10% rating. If you did 20 years in the Army or the Navy, whatever, you've got some health conditions from that, and it's pretty easy to get a 10% rating, and that moves it. Did anybody do 20 years and not file a claim? All right, 1 or 2, yeah. Please file a claim. I like the expression I like to use is, we are not your grandfather's VA. I got out 22 years ago, and most of my stuff got denied. I've since filed a new claim. Most of it's coming through approved. It's the same stuff. Okay. They used to, back when they were denying all kinds of things. That has really changed. The attitude at VA today is do everything you can to assist that veteran. If you run into a rule that says you can't do that, find another rule. Find some other program. Find a way to help that veteran. It's a very different VA. The other thing I want to say is this: don't be like my father. My father was a Korean War era veteran, and he always said, I don't want to use my veterans benefits. I'm doing good in life. And he was a mechanical engineer, made good money. He says, I don't need the benefits. I want to leave them for some other veteran who might need them more. Sorry, Dad, that's not how it works. If you don't use your veterans benefit, we don't hand it to somebody else. It just goes back to the Treasury, all right? And so you're not helping yourself. You're not helping anybody else. So use your veterans benefits, all right? There's a lot of them. Take advantage of them.